Yo, this is BoxingWave. All right, this is what I'm gonna do here. All right, shout out to 78 Sports TV because he already made a video on this. He broke down the classes or where he see fighters, what class does he think certain fighters are. Okay, us as fans, when we sit here and we uh we criticize a fighter or we sit here and describe a fighter's talent, we often say what class he is. He's a B fighter. He's a C fighter. Okay. We sit here and we always sit here and describe fighters that way. Okay, but it really doesn't mean anything because everybody has, it's just a mythical way. Just like a pound for pound list. It's just an imaginary way to describe a particular fighter. Okay, there's no fact to it. Okay, it's just the way we choose to describe it. So I've said in my videos, I've said that Adrian Broner was a C class fighter. When I say Adrian Broner is a C class fighter, I mean overall. I mean, when I compare, I'm not just comparing him on the boxers today. I mean overall, I think he's a C class fighter. Okay, I know he's a three-time champion. He can improve. He's still early in his career, very young in his career, so he can improve. Okay, a lot of these fighters are on the edge of they have one fight. They're one fight away from being an A class fighter, where I have them as a B class, or they're a C class fighter, and they're like one fight away from becoming a B class fighter. So I try to give the best list that I could. All right, this is a long list, but I'm gonna run through the names, okay? And I'm gonna explain why I put each one of them there. Now, what I'm gonna do different from what 78 did is I'm gonna break the classes down a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna have the A plus, the A, and the A minus. I'm not gonna just do A, B, and C. Okay, I'm gonna break it down a little bit more. All right, so for you can get an idea, like a real sharp idea. All right, this list is not perfect. This is no different than me giving a pound for pound list, or this is just my own opinion. Okay, um, if I contradict myself or you don't like my pick, or if I pick a fighter that lost to a different fighter, another fighter, but I have them rated higher, it's no disrespect. It's not. It's just the way I view them as far as skills are concerned and as far as their actual resume. Okay, some I might have them high because of their skill on how I feel, how talented I think they are, and then others I have them based on their resume and who they beaten and who they fought. Okay. So anyway, let me break this down. Now, before I get started, I'm just gonna give you a few examples in the A's from past fighters and current fighters. Okay. Who I think is an A plus fighter. All right, I'm gonna start from the A's and then I'm gonna go down. I don't think any fighter in this era today is an A plus fighter. Okay. I have Roy Jones here, but we're not counting Roy Jones as of right now because even though he's still fighting, he's not really relevant. He's not like how Bernard Hopkins is. Okay. Um, there's other fighters, there's not really many fighters fighting at his age, but he's not fighting on a level that Bernard Hopkins is. Okay. So Roy Jones, I consider him, as far as his legacy is concerned, as an A plus fighter. Okay. He's a fighter that's in recent memory that I have him as an A plus. And then I have Sugar Ray Robinson, okay, an older fighter that I feel is an A plus fighter, okay? So just those two that I'm going to put out there, A plus fighters. Now, a fighter that I think from the past, an example that I feel that is an A fighter, one from today, I think Floyd Mayweather is, okay? A fighter from the past, not too long ago, but he's from the past, even though he's still fighting himself, I have James Toney as an A class fighter. Okay, an A, not an A plus, but an A. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, I don't have him as an A because he did not fight Manny Pacquiao. Okay, he needs that fight. Manny as well. I have them both as A class fighters. They didn't fight their rival. I can't put them in the A plus category. I just can't do it. Okay. As far as the A minus, fighter from the past, Pernell Whitaker. Okay, put him as an A minus. I know some of you might say, "Oh, he's an A. He is the best defensive fighter." I mean, he is one of the best defensive fighters, but I have him down as an A minus. All right. Um, and then a fighter of today that I have as an A minus is Timothy Bradley, okay, who has one of the best resumes in boxing today. All right. So let me break it down. Let's start with the A's. I don't have any A pluses of today. Remember, I said that. Start with the A's. I have Vladimir Klitschko. I mean, what more can I say? I mean, he's been beating guys since Lennox Lewis retired. All right. Him and his brother has been dominating the heavyweight division for many years now. Okay. I have him as an A. I have Manny Pacquiao as an A. Self-explanatory. Okay. All of that he has done. He's come up from so many weight classes. I mean, how many? He was an 8 division world champion. I mean, he's Manny Pacquiao. He has his losses, but he's Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather, I have him as an A as well. All right, another great resume. Okay, undefeated still. Nothing. It's self-explanatory. All right, these are the easy ones. All right, Bernard Hopkins. All right, I have him as an A. All right, he's gonna be 50 years old. There's a chance that he might unify the titles. I think if Bernard Hopkins were to beat Stevenson and Kovalev, all right, and unify the titles, might consider him an A plus fighter. Okay, I might just consider him an A plus. All right, and we already discussed this on the phone with the boxing roundtable fellas. All right, Zone 6, Rilo Jenkins, and all of them. If Bernard Hopkins were to beat the both of them, I would consider him #1 pound for pound right now, even at the age of 50. Okay. And then the last person I have on this list is Andre Ward. All right. Andre Ward, A-class fighter. All right. And that's it for the A's. All right. Now let's go down to the A minuses. All right. I have Miguel Cotto. Okay. Miguel Cotto, he's fought everyone. Didn't beat everyone. He lost to Mayweather. He lost to Pacquiao. He lost to Margarito. All right. But he has a pretty solid resume of his own. He beat Zab Judah. He beat Sergio Martinez recently. Okay, he beat Shane Mosley. He's beaten a lot of people. Okay, 4-time Puerto Rican champ, the only one that's done that. Okay, historically, Miguel Cotto is a legend, and I have him in the A minus. Same thing with Marquez, A minus. It was a discussion. It was close between whether he should be a B plus or A minus. I wouldn't place him as an A minus if he was a welterweight all his career, all right? But he has a solid resume, and he's a legend, and he's a future Hall of Famer. And I think as a career, I have him as A minus, and he's still fighting at a high level, and I still think that he could beat the majority of welterweights out there, okay? What I have is Guillermo Rigondeaux at A minus, okay? Almost placed him at a B plus because even though I think the talent level of him, I think he has the talent of an A fighter, okay? If you guys didn't see my comparison to Floyd Mayweather video, check those videos out. I did 2 videos on that. I think he has the talent of an A, maybe even an A plus fighter, but he hasn't done much. He hasn't done enough in his professional career. I will put him in the A minus section because of him being Nonito Donaire, but I can't. Even though I think he's so talented, he only has like 14, 15 professional fights. Okay, I have Tim Bradley in an A minus. Okay, I think he has a lot of talent. I don't think he's as talented as the A fighters. Okay, but I do think he has one of the best resumes out there, and he always finds a way to win. All right, I think 78 Sports said the same thing. All right, and then lastly, at A minus, I have Carl Froch. Carl Froch, the only person he really hasn't beaten was Andre Ward. Outside of that, he runs the super middleweight division, and he beats a lot of guys. I mean, he's beaten so many guys, so many undefeated guys he's beaten. Okay, and Carl Froch is definitely an A minus fighter. Okay, let's go to the B pluses. Only have a few here. All right, I have Golovkin. I wanted to put him in the A minus because of his talent, his skill level. I'll say this now on the YTBC. I think Gennady Golovkin can beat anyone from 147, maybe possibly up to 175, except Andre Ward, and maybe except Bernard Hopkins. I do think Golovkin can beat Floyd Mayweather. I do think Golovkin can beat Sergey Kovalev. That's just my opinion. I think he's that good. I just think I'm sure Andre Ward is the only person he can't beat. Anybody else from those divisions, I think he could beat anyone. I think he's that good. The only problem is he's in a B plus range is because he just hasn't beaten any other champions. Okay, I need him to beat Peter Quillin. I mean, he vacated his title, but I needed him to beat Sergio Martinez. All right, I need him to beat and take over at least one champ, at least one of them. Okay, I would prefer Peter Quillin. Okay, but I don't think he needs to beat Andre Ward to be in the A minus section. But I think he at least needs to beat a top level middleweight. Okay, I know he's beating Gil and stuff, and he has Rubio coming up, but I need just a little bit more to push him over that edge. All right, Donaire, Nonito Donaire. All right, I know he's lost since to Rigondeaux, but I think he's still a B plus fighter because he's come back, he's bounced back. I know he wasn't super impressive in his last couple of wins, but losing to Rigondeaux, I still think he's a B plus fighter. I think at one point he was an A minus fighter until that loss. Okay, but I have him as a B plus now. And the last person that I have him at B plus might be a little too early to put him there. All right, it was tough to decide on this, but I already have Terrence Crawford as a B plus fighter because I think Gamboa was really that good of a fighter, where Gamboa was either an A minus B plus fighter. All right, Crawford beating him and knocking him out makes him a B plus fighter to me, and he's on pace to be an A minus if he was to beat Miguel Vasquez or Ray Beltran and go up the 140 division and beat anyone from there. All right. So I have Crawford there as B plus. That's it for the B pluses. Okay. As far as the Bs, all right, just straight Bs. I have Mikey Garcia. Okay, he's the champ at 130, still undefeated, high knockout percentages, good boxer. Okay, he has his flaws, but I still have him up there as a B fighter. This is a B fighter. Okay, Danny Garcia, another guy, undefeated, finds ways to win. Okay, has beaten Matisse, Zab Judah, Eric Morales, Kendall Holt. He has a good resume. What more can I say? He didn't look good against Mauricio Herrera. I hated the fact that he fought Ross Salka, but he's still a B fighter. Okay, Gamboa still has him as a B. I know he took his first loss to Crawford, but that was his first loss, and I thought it was to a worthy opponent. I still think he's dangerous. I still want to see him and Mikey Garcia fight, and I still think Gamboa can beat the majority of the guys around that weight class, those weight classes. Okay. Canelo Alvarez, I have him as a B fighter. I know he's only lost to Floyd, but I can't put him. I know he beat Lara recently, but I can't really put him that high because that was a very, very debatable fight. So was the Austin Trout fight, all right? So Canelo, I have him as a B right now. Same thing with Lara. I still have him as a B. I know you guys know Lara's one of my personal favorite guys, but I have him as a B fighter. You know, I think he needs to really, when he comes back and make his return, he needs to really show people that he's one of the best. Okay, he needs to clearly beat a fighter, a top fighter in the junior middleweight division. He has yet to do that. He has 2 draws. He has a couple draws. He has the debatable loss to Canelo. All right, he just needs to really cleanly beat someone like he did with Austin Trout, but with knockout. All right, Donald Stevenson. Okay, not the happy. Not everybody's really happy right now with him. He didn't get the Bernard Hopkins fight. He didn't fight Kovalev. All right, people are not happy, but this guy was top 3 fighters of the year last year. Okay, he's still doing his thing. He won the Fafara fight. All right, and he's still one of the top light heavyweights out there. Right, so I have him as a B. I have Kubrat Pulev also as a B. All right, I think he's going to be a tough fight for Klitschko. All right, I still have Klitschko winning, but if Klitschko's going to lose to anyone outside of maybe Deontay Wilder or someone that can just, someone that I could actually have a chance of giving him a good boxing test, it would be Kubrat Pulev, the first in a long time. Okay, And the last person I have as a B right now, who I just moved up because of his next recent big win, is Kell Brook. I have him as a B as of right now. All right. It's a B minus. Okay. You might be a little surprised that I have him here this high already. All right. Um, this was totally random, but I have Lomachenko. I mean, I know some of you gonna go both ways. Some of you don't think he should be posted that high, and some of you would think that he should be posted higher. All right, I have Lomachenko here. Still earlier in his career, right? With wins and losses, he could be bouncing around all over this C class thing because, or I mean, this class thing because he with every fight he lost to Salido, came back and destroyed Russell. He finished strong with Salido, even though he lost to him. I still see a big future in his career. I still think he's going to be a great fighter. So that's why I have him as a B minus. All right. John Pascal, I have him as a B minus as well. Okay. Almost put him as a C plus, but he did his thing. He's still one of the top fighters at the light heavy division. Okay, had a great pair of fights with Bernard Hopkins. He was the first to beat Chad Dawson. Okay, he's still a very good fighter. He never really got dominated by anyone, even the people that he lost to. All right, so still have him. I have him as a B minus. Keith Thurman. All right, I know you guys think he's overrated. I'm putting him as a B minus. I think skillfully he's up there. All right, he's way up there to me, skillfully. But he just hasn't fought the competition yet. I know he wants to. I know it's not his fault, but I still can't place him that high until he knocks out more or beats more fighters on a higher level, not just journeymen or not just gatekeepers or stuff like that. Okay. All right, so I have Brook here too. Now I don't remember if I really placed him as Kell Brook as a B minus or a B. I can't remember, but I'm gonna skip him for now. Kovalev. All right, I have Kovalev as a B minus. Another guy. Whatever happens between Stevenson, whoever wins, whoever's the ruler between the light heavyweights, someone is gonna be in the A somewhere. I think Bernard Hopkins already solidified his spot as an A fighter. All right. As far as Stevenson and Kovalev, if either one of them is to beat Bernard Hopkins, I can easily jump them up to a B plus or A minus. Okay, easily. All right. So I have him as a B minus for now, but we'll see what happens. And I have Deontay Wilder. He's knocked out every person he fought. Only thing is he hasn't fought anyone yet. So that's why I have him as a B minus, similar to Thurman. Okay. And Showtime, Shawn Porter, I have him as a B minus. Almost placed him as a C plus at first, but you know what? I placed him at a B minus. I want to see how he bounces back from his first loss. Okay, he might even be stronger than his next one, so I'm not gonna place him too low yet. All right, not saying that C plus is low. Now the C plus is here. When I say a fighter is a C fighter, like I say Adrian Broner is, you could still be a champion and be a C plus fighter. Like I think or a C fighter. Okay, it's not like you're not capable of being a champion. I think the D's are the gatekeeper guys that are just below a C, or I mean a champion. I'm sorry, guys that just never won the belt or were just right there, or a guy that you had to beat to get to a title shot. Those are what I consider D's. C guys that's in the C's are guys that's been champions, but really didn't defend them for a long time. They might beat somebody, they might lose one, they might win one. When it all comes to top fighters, they're gonna lose, win. They're gonna have multiple wins and losses in their career, all right? But they are fighting top level fighters. Adrian Broner, C plus, first class C plus fighter to me, all right? He's not a B to me yet, all right? I need to see more. It's just too many mistakes. I love this fight with Emmanuel Taylor, but I don't think he's a B fighter yet, okay? He's still very young in his career, and he has potential. He has shown at times that he can be a top elite fighter, but as of right now, no. Just we see spurts of it, okay? That's all. Like the round 4 against Emmanuel Taylor, that was elite performance, but that was just one round. I'm not gonna give him elite fighter like some people have. Um, and I just don't think he's a pound for pound caliber type of fighter. Lamont Peterson, another guy that I feel is a C plus fighter. All right, champion, former champion. Um, Chavez Jr., another fighter that I think is a C plus fighter. A guy that I think he's gonna lose to whenever he fights an elite fighter. Okay, but he has a chance. He's a good fighter. He's tough. Bermain Stavern, I have him as a C plus fighter. Okay, Devin Alexander, another guy that has been a champion, but didn't really have any defenses. Like guy that will beat a fighter and then probably lose it, and then within the next fight or two. Okay, uh, Nicholas Walters, undefeated fighter that's on the come up. He's fighting Nonito Donaire. He could jump up to a B plus if he beats Donaire. Okay, so watch out for him. That should be a great fight. And last but not least, Amir Khan, a guy that I think is super talented offensively. Okay, super talented, but he tends to lose fights and get knocked out. Okay, and then he's trying to, like the Josecito Lopez fight, which is most likely to happen. Don't like the fight really, but I think it's a step down from Louis Collazo, in my opinion. I think Louis Collazo is a better fighter than Josecito Lopez, and I think Khan wants big fights, but he is being too. He's taking. He doesn't want to take any risks, and I don't like that about him. Okay, I think his skill and his talent, he's really up there. Okay, I could even say that he's a B plus fighter at least, but he just doesn't have the resume to go with it. All right. Now, as a C fighter, okay, Paulie Malignaggi, all right, Peter Quillin. Peter Quillin, I know he's a champion. I know he's undefeated, but he hasn't really beaten anyone, okay? Same thing with Danny Jacobs. I would like them to fight each other. Chris Algieri, great performance against Provodnikov, but I need to see more. Can't put him in the B's yet, all right? Brian Jennings, same with him. Leo Santa Cruz, same with him. Provodnikov, I mean, great fights. He always put great fights. He always wants the war. He's going to give whoever he fights hell, but I can't put him in the B's, okay? And he's been champion before. Zab Judah, he's been champion before, all right? But majority of his big fights, he lost. Just about all of them, okay? So, very talented fighter, but always has stamina issues. And mentally, he never was mentally prepared for a lot of fights. And that's probably another reason for all of the losses, all right? But Zab Judah as a C, his history-wise, I place him as a C. Orlando Salido, I also have him as a C. And last but not least, Marcos Maidana. That might be a little controversial because lately he's been putting on great performances, okay? He might even beat Floyd. But right now, I know he beat Broner. Okay, I know he beat Broner. But I just can't. I'm still unsure. I'm still really unsure. Where he goes after Floyd is where I'm interested. He needs to get that rematch with Devin Alexander. That's what he needs to do. Because people talk about that loss so much. Okay, even Devin does. Floyd is fighting my leftovers. I already beat him. I think he's a new fighter. I would like to see him fight Devin Alexander again today. All right. Moving on. C minus. Marco Antonio Rubio. Okay. These are the guys that are, they also been champions. Some of them also have been champions, but I just feel that they like on a lower end. They are the guys that are just above just being a gatekeeper, or you can argue that they're already a gatekeeper. Okay. I have Marco Antonio Rubio. I have Andre Berto here. I have Brandon Rios here. I have Mike Alvarado here. Louis Collazo. Mauricio Herrera. Okay. Some of you might think Herrera is better because of his performance against Danny Garcia. I thought he beat Garcia, but officially he lost. All right. And throughout his career, he has other losses. I know he beat Provodnikov, but I still see him a level just above being a gatekeeper, or you can consider him a gatekeeper. All right. All of these guys. All right. But one fight or two can change all of that. All right. So then we go to D's, all right? I'm not giving D plus D's. I'm just going to give you a few D's for you to get the gist of what I see, what I consider a D fighter. Um, I consider Soto Karass a gatekeeper. That's why he's a D. I consider Julio Diaz a gatekeeper. All right, two guys that Keith Thurman has fought and knocked out. Okay, Tony Thompson, I consider him a gatekeeper in the heavyweight division. Tough fight for any heavyweight, but you beat him, you might get a shot or get close to getting a shot to fighting for a belt. Okay, Josecito Lopez, a gatekeeper. Okay, uh, that's all he is. Uh, to me, I mean, he beat Victor Ortiz, but just about everybody else. He even lost to Edgar Santana, the guy that Lamont Peterson just beat the hell out of. I mean, no disrespect to Edgar Santana or Josecito Lopez, but I'm just saying, whenever Josecito Lopez is going to fight a top high level C fighter or a high or a B fighter, he's most likely going to lose. Okay. And last but not least, I have Juan Manuel Lopez, who just isn't the same anymore. Okay. A guy that was a big prospect at one point, right there with Gamboa, and he's been knocked out left and right lately. But I still think he's a tough gatekeeper. All right. So that's it. That's my thoughts. All right. If you guys want, leave who you think is a gatekeeper or it's any of these levels. If you want to ask me or a specific fighter I didn't name, then fine. If you want to include certain people that you want to put in this list or disagree with me, I saw a lot of you disagree with me. You could bring it up. Whatever you feel like doing, that's cool. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace.